Thank you so much. Thank you to Laura and Federica for setting this up and inviting me to present to you all. This is a wonderful opportunity, and thank you to everyone attending. So I'm going to share my screen. Give me 1 second. It says host disabled participant screen sharing. Can you make that so that I can share? Laura?
Sorry, I was talking to you, but I was muted. So I'm just sorry.
Okay.
I don't know what. Okay, participants. I don't know why I'm not able this time to. Oh wow. Stop. Yeah. Sorry. Maybe here. I don't remember how to give you the rights. It's like I haven't been using this for so much time. I'm very sorry.
That's okay.
But it was easier like last time.
I think maybe next to my name, is there a button
we can share
that gives options?
Okay, I believe that now you are.
Yes.
No, I'm so sorry. Sorry, everyone. I will mute myself.
This is the new world we live in. So I think everyone has learned how to be patient with these things. All right, if you can just confirm that you can see my screen.
Yes, we do. I do. So I believe the others are.
Okay, and you're seeing the full PowerPoint, right?
Yeah. International Student Services.
Okay, great. All right, so go ahead and get started. All right, so first I want to talk a little bit about the difference between a community college or a university. Higher education in the United States is very different from other countries in the world, and I know that Italy is no exception. So we have two different types of institution where you can go to study after high school. You have the community college or you have the university. And it can get confusing sometimes because oftentimes we refer to, in our informal English language, we refer to universities as colleges. So just so you're aware, you may hear the word college in many, many different situations, including universities, but there are actually two separate things. One is a college and one is a university. So the difference is, and you can see on the screen here, that this is how the education system is set up. And so I've put it into kind of a graphic to split things up. So at the very bottom down here, you have the high school diploma in the green. So that is when, until you're 18 years old, that's your typical high school. And I think that we're pretty standard as most countries, but beyond that is where we get a little bit different. So you have two options for the next step, and that's your undergraduate program. So you see the arrow here that has the undergraduate program. So you have the bachelor's and the associates. Now, some people go straight into the bachelor's, and that's at the university. So university is for 4 years to get your bachelor's degree. But if you want to, you can choose to go to a community college first and get your associate's degree before going on to that bachelor's degree. So all of it is 4 years. So even if you choose to go to the community college first and then move on to your bachelor's, you're still only going to take 4 years. But what this does is basically in these 2 years in the middle here, and I'm not sure if you can see my cursor or not, I'm trying to point to it, but in this dark blue associate's degree area, this is your 2-year community college. There are several benefits, the main one being cost. The cost of a community college is much, much lower than that of a university. So that means that instead of going straight to the university to get those all 4 years, you can save a lot of money. And as you probably know, education in the United States is an expensive endeavor. It is much more expensive than the majority of universities and institutions in Italy and other countries abroad. So the associate's degree in the 2-year college is going to save a lot of money. It also allows you 2 years to get used to the higher education system in the United States, maybe to improve your English language skills or to understand how classes work. Sometimes just the classes in general are very different from classes in Italy. So taking those 2 years really helps students to understand the system and to get comfortable here and to feel confident and ready to then attend the university for the bachelor's degree. So if a student were to attend the 2-year community college and then move on to a bachelor's degree, and I'll talk a little bit more about this later, they can transfer from the college to the university and they will get their bachelor's degree in 2 years after the 2 years of associates, and your degree is fully from that university. So let's just throw out a university name. Let's say Harvard University. I'm sure most of you have heard of Harvard. You could potentially go for 2 years in a community college, saving a lot of money, getting used to the system, making sure that your grades are good. And then you could transfer and take 2 years at Harvard and get that bachelor's degree from Harvard University. While only having gone to half of your studies at that university, you still get the same degree. So there are some benefits to going to the community college. There are also additional benefits, which are that you can get guaranteed admission to certain universities. So maybe you tried to apply to some universities. Maybe you applied to Florida State University or the University of Texas or some larger named schools and universities, but you didn't get accepted. For whatever reason, they did not accept you into their program. You could then apply to a community college, get those 2 years, and if there is an agreement between that college and another university, you are guaranteed to be accepted into that other university. So here where I am at Miami Dade College, for example, if you get your Associate of Arts degree from Miami Dade College, you're guaranteed admission into the Florida university system. So you could go to Florida International University, for example, and have guaranteed admission. They will accept all of the credits that you took at Miami-Dade College and have them apply to their bachelor's degree at Florida International University. So that's what this green arrow is here, 2+2 degree program. That means you can go 2 years at the college, 2 years at the university, and get your 4-year degree. Other students choose to skip the community college altogether and they just go straight to the university and take 4 years at the university and get that bachelor's degree, and that's okay as well. Beyond that, at a university, you can go on to get a master's degree and a doctorate degree and then even a postdoctorate degree. And this would be at a 4-year college or university. Many of the community colleges do offer bachelor's degree. We have with us today, Sara, one of our students who is studying at Miami-Dade College, and she'll talk to you later, but she did her associate degree at Miami-Dade College and then went on and is doing her bachelor's degree also at Miami-Dade College. So it is possible to continue on at the college without ever going to a university and getting that full 4-year bachelor's degree. So I'm going to move on. This website here, studyflorida.net, I'm not actually going to go in. Oh, I'm sorry. I switched this to the wrong screen. So to talk a little bit more specifically about Florida, which is where I am, I'm based in Miami in Florida. We have a group called Study Florida, and I'm currently the chair, as Laura mentioned in my introduction, of Study Florida. And this is a consortium made up of universities and colleges within the state of Florida. And all of us work together to recruit international students and to discuss best practices for international students and to promote higher education in Florida. So if you go to this website here, studyflorida.net, it will list all of the different colleges and universities that are available to international students in Florida who are part of this consortium. So this is a great place to start if you know that you're interested in coming to Florida and you're not quite sure where you want to go. I'm going to specifically talk about my college, which is Miami-Dade College. And of course, I would love to have all of you join my college in particular. But if Miami is not where you want to be, then I absolutely support and promote and want all of you to consider studying in the US at another institution. So find the one that's going to be right for you, that's going to have the right major for you, that's going to fit your budget and what it is that you're looking for. There are plenty of colleges and universities out there for you. And there are schools that are large, that are small, that have, large class sizes, small class sizes, very personal interaction with professors, others that have less so, all sorts of different majors that you can study in. So take the time to do some research and find the college or university that's going to be best for you. So these are all of the state colleges and universities. And as I mentioned before, if you go to a community college, if you go to a 2-year college and get your associate's degree, and I'll talk a little bit more about what an associate's degree means, but if you get an Associate of Arts degree, you're guaranteed admission, assuming that you meet all of their requirements. You're guaranteed admission to any of the public colleges and universities within the Florida system. So you can see there's a long list here of different colleges and universities. And so if you decide to go to one of these colleges and get an AA degree, you can then move on and transfer to any of these schools, and all of the credits that you have taken, all the classes that you took at the college will be applied to your bachelor's degree at that 4-year university. So you can see that it's a great system and really helpful, especially for students who are not sure where they want to go, or maybe didn't get accepted to the university of their first choice on the first time. You can always try again later in a couple of years and get that acceptance. So now I'm going to talk more specifically about Miami Dade College, which is where I work. And so I want to talk about who we are. So Miami-Dade College is actually the largest institution of higher education in the entire United States. We have more than 165,000 students attending Miami-Dade College. So if you haven't heard of us, you should. We are the largest in the entire country. But that does not mean that you get lost in the classes. We still keep very small class sizes and make sure that we have individual professor-student attention and relationships. So there's a good ratio of professors versus students. We have 8 campuses. We are spread out all over the area of Miami and South Florida. And we believe in access with excellence. So one of the things I mentioned before was about, did you get accepted to the university of your choice? So here in the United States, and this is different than a lot of other countries, but in the United States, access to universities can be very competitive. You apply to different universities and it is not guaranteed that you're going to get in. So oftentimes students need to have a really great resume. They need to have a really good grades in high school, maybe have been leaders in organizations and clubs. Well, at Miami-Dade College, we are an open access college. We want everyone to be able to study. So we do have some minimum requirements. You have to have graduated from high school and you have to take some placement tests, but we allow every single student who applies and meets those bare minimum requirements to join our college. We believe in providing education to everyone. But that being said, we do not lower our standards on excellence. So everyone is able to come, but we provide excellent academic education. Our professors are very skilled and knowledgeable, talented in their fields. We make sure that everyone that is hired meets a certain standard so that we do not lack on that excellence. So open to everyone, but with the same quality that you're going to get at these competitive universities. We are a very multicultural and multi-ethnic community located here in Miami. And I don't know how many of you have been to Miami, but it is a very diverse city. There are people here from all over the world. It is definitely a hub for multiculturalism. And so Miami-Dade College is no exception. We have a diverse student body. We are actually considered a minority serving institution, meaning that the majority of our students, more than 50%, are a minority background. So that is mostly in the case of Hispanics and Latinos. So Miami is very much a Latino community. We have students from all over South America, Latin America, Central America, as well as Spain. And we have international students studying from countries all around the world. So it's very important to us. We have a diverse faculty and staff and student body. We also provide education and training to over 75% of our community. So Miami-Dade College is very much a part of the community here. And that's helpful for you to know because that also means that we have people giving back. Most of our professors and our administrators are actually alumni of the college because it is so widespread here in the community. Everybody has taken a class at Miami-Dade College at one point or another and understands the quality and the importance of education to our college. We award more associate degrees than any other college in the country. This is the institution across the entire United States that awards the most degrees. So that's really exciting and something we're proud of. And very important for you all is we offer over 300 programs of study. We have majors from fashion to aviation to business, culinary, cybersecurity, pretty much anything that you can think of. If you have an interest in it, we probably have a degree for you to study in. We really pride ourselves in making sure that we have programs in every area of interest. So if somebody wants to study at Miami-Dade College, they're going to find their area of interest as well. So as I mentioned, we have 8 campuses located all throughout the county of Miami-Dade. These are just some pictures of the different campuses. I personally work at the Wolfson campus, which is down here, second from the right on the bottom, which is our downtown campus. This is where we have the most international students. As you can probably imagine, international students want to go to downtown Miami. So this is where we have a large number of international students at our downtown campus. We're literally right across the street from the Bay. We have our Bayfront marketplace with lots of shops and restaurants. You can see yachts going by right in front of the college. And we're right in the business district, so that's easy public transportation. We have our Metro mover. So lots of opportunities for international students here. But anyone who wants to go to a different campus is absolutely welcome. We have campuses all over in the north to the south, Homestead, pretty much all within a 30-mile radius. We have different campuses around. So a couple of reasons to choose YMDC. I mentioned a few of them already, so I won't go too much into depth. Our Florida Articulation Agreement guarantees admission to state colleges and universities. So if you get that AA degree from us, you'll be guaranteed admission to be able to transfer to these institutions that we have an agreement with. We have much lower tuition than than all universities, really. So this is a great way to take advantage of your first couple of years to save money. Variety, over 300 programs to choose from. We also have the latest technology in all of our facilities. All of our classrooms are fully equipped with state-of-the-art laboratories and machinery, and depending on your degree program, we have all of the up-to-date technology. Student life, which I'll talk about a little bit more. We have many different opportunities for teamwork and leadership, being able to join clubs and organizations, and we have something for everybody. And as I mentioned before, we try to keep our class sizes small. Average student ratio is 25 to 1. So that means 1 professor for every 25 students. So most of our classes are approximately 25 students or less. And depending on your major, they may be much less. So that means you get that personal interaction with your professor. You're not one of 600 students and the professor doesn't know your name. We also offer classes to fit a variety of schedules. So we have morning classes, we have afternoon classes, weekend classes, evening classes, so that it will work with anybody's schedule. If somebody prefers to take classes in the evening, they can do so. So the different types of programs, and I've mentioned some of these different degrees, but I want to talk about them a little bit more in depth because I know it's very different from the Italian system. So the bachelor's degree is your typical university degree. So when you think about a university degree, the equivalent is usually going to be a bachelor's. This is a 4-year program. It's made up of 120 credits and is academically rigorous. So other than the master's degree, you have the options of the associate degrees. And these associate degrees are not offered at universities, only at colleges, community colleges. So you have the associate in arts, which is the AA, which is meant to be a pathway for students to transfer to a university and take your 4-year bachelor's degree program. There's also the associate in science, which is a more technical program. So this is a 2-year degree, which then after the 2 years, you can go work in the professional fields. So it is not meant for you to then go on to get your 4-year bachelor's degree. Now, I want to clarify, because this can be confusing sometimes with the wording. A lot of times in English, we use words that don't necessarily mean what they are. So the Associate of Arts has nothing to do with art, and the Associate in Science has nothing to do with science. You can get an Associate in Arts degree in biology or in chemistry or in technical engineering. It does not have to be an art field. The Associate in Science, same thing. You could get an Associate of Science in art, in painting, in photography. So the major that you are studying is not art or science. That's just the name of the associate degree. Okay, so important for people to know that. So Associate of Arts is pathway to a university, pathway to a bachelor's degree. Associate of Science is a technical professional degree for immediate employment. So student life, I mentioned that briefly earlier. We have a wonderful student life program here. And this again is what oftentimes what distinguishes US education from other countries, is that student life is incredibly important. I always say and have said that university and college experience in the United States is about 50% academic and 50% non-academic. And that may sound strange, right? Because university, you think that that's to go to study and to go to class and to learn. And yes, that's absolutely true. But a huge part of making sure that you are well-rounded individuals who are able to work in the professional career is having that student life piece of it, having that those leadership skills, organizational skills, being able to work as a team, being able to be part of a community. All of those are things that you learn by doing work and activities outside of the classroom. So we offer a lot of those opportunities for students to be able to become well-rounded individuals. And we do that through clubs and organizations and different means. So we have all sorts of clubs and organizations, and the possibility to create a club or organization if there's something that you have an interest in that we don't have a club for. So we have different sports clubs, we have dance clubs, we have artistic clubs, painting clubs, chess clubs, different hobby clubs, honor societies, international honor societies. So there's all sorts of organizations. Student Government Association is one of those, which is a governing student body. So you've got the student body president, the student body secretary, vice president, and these are students who are making decisions for the college. And these are not just things to write on your resume. They are things that really make an impact and can change the experience of the college. Just as an example, the Student Government Association has done tremendous work and made many different changes. But one of the things that they advocated for was to have a voting site on campus. Here in the United States, when we vote every year, there are different places that you can go to vote. And sometimes it may not be very convenient because you're at school or you're at work and your voting poll is across town and you don't have time to get there. So they advocated to make Miami-Dade College, 2 of the campuses, voting sites so that any student or employee could vote right there at the college. This involved the Florida state government. It involved all sorts of people in positions of leadership, but our student body are the ones that made that happen. As another maybe less political example, or on a smaller scale, is that our student cafeteria did not offer vegetarian or vegan options, and more students were were becoming vegan or vegetarian and wanting to have more options. So they together, formed a committee and put on a lot of petitions and signatures and spoke to the organization, and were able to develop more vegan and vegetarian options. So the student body has a huge voice here. I'm an administrator here, but I always say that I am here for the students. As administrators and professors get older, things change and other things need to change with them. So we like to give a voice and make sure that our students are being leaders and being heard. Student newspaper, for example, is another area to get involved in. We actually have an award-winning student newspaper called The Reporter, and it has our journalists and reporters on that newspaper. They're all students, but they have gone on to get excellent jobs in journalism because this newspaper is so well known and so well put together. We also have many different events and activities that take place on campus, such as the Miami Book Fair or the Miami International Film Festival. We always have all sorts of activities and events, and some of these are very large scale. The Book Fair and the International Film Festival actually bring in celebrities and well-known authors or well-known actors and directors who come for these large events, and the students are very much a part of these events as well. So student life is a huge piece of Miami-Dade College. One in particular that I always like to mention, because it is specifically for international students, is Phi Beta Delta. And I'm actually the advisor for this organization. But this is an international honor society. And it's the very first recognizing achievement in international education. So all of the members of this group are either international students studying in the United States or domestic students, US students who have studied abroad. So these students come together and they put on all sorts of different workshops, volunteer activities, they organize fundraisers, all with an international theme and promoting international and multiculturalism and, crossing barriers. So this is a great organization for international students to join and to develop those leadership skills and have opportunities. Every year, this has been put on hold because of the pandemic, but every year we even travel to an international student leadership conference in Virginia, and I've taken students to go see Washington, D.C. and the Capitol. So these are great ways to get involved and have more skills to build when you want to get into the professional career. So housing, we always say that students should arrive in Miami about 4 weeks prior to the term in order to arrange accommodations. We don't offer on-campus student housing facilities, but we do offer resources in order to assist students finding. Because we are downtown, there tends to be a lot of housing available. And so students live oftentimes in shared apartments or even apartments on their own near the campus that they live on. So the application process, I'll go through quickly since I don't know what stage you all are in deciding whether or not you're going to apply. But we have a pretty standard application process. Anybody who has completed high school is eligible for admission. And it's always best to start as early as possible with the application process. We recommend as soon as possible, but a minimum of 3 to 6 months is going to be necessary in order to get all of the immigration paperwork and everything processed. Oh, I apologize, I didn't change my screen there. So required documents are going to be an online application. That's very simple. You just go to our website, complete an international student application. We need a passport copy. We need an application fee, evidence that you graduated from high school, and a bank letter. So bank letter, and this is required for all international students. This is part of the visa immigration process to be able to show that you can afford your studies here. So at Miami-Dade College, we require a bank letter that states that you have at least $23,000. That can either be in the student's name or it can be in someone else's name along with a letter affidavit of sponsorship. So this is required at all universities in the United States, but the amounts are going to be different. So that $23,000 is probably going to be less than you would need to show at a university who requires more for tuition. But that is just a one-time letter. You don't have to provide that every year. And that's meant to reflect living expenses as well as tuition expenses. English proficiency. So everyone, before they start taking college classes, needs to be able to prove that they are proficient in English. However, we do not require a TOEFL or an IELTS, any of those English exams that I'm sure you have probably heard of. We don't require them. If you have them, great, you can turn them in and that will meet the requirements. But if not, then we have our own test here that can be taken upon arrival. So you can be accepted to the college. We can give you all of your immigration paperwork. You can be ready to come. You come to Miami, you're ready to live here, and then you take your English test. If you do not pass the English test to a certain level, that's okay. We're not going to send you home. What we would do is put you into English as a second language class. So we have English for academic purposes classes here that prepare you in English to be able to take those college level courses. So it is not necessary to be proficient in English before you come here. We offer those English classes to get you ready here before you get into those other classes. So the exceptions to the AP, so if in order to not take those English as a second language class, then you can take those tests. So if you have a TOEFL score of 61 or higher, if you have an IELTS 5.5 or higher, or the PTE academic of 51 or higher. So if you have those test scores and the PTE can be, and the Miami Dade College test score as well, if you pass those, then you don't have to worry about taking those English as a second language class. But again, not required. So tuition, I know this is the part that everyone wants to know. How much is this going to cost me? As I said, it is much cheaper, more economical than it is at a four-year university, but it is still definitely a financial endeavor. So international students are required to take 12 credits every semester. That's approximately 4 classes. Usually each class is about 3 credits. Sometimes it may be 4 credits, but the summer term is optional. This is only for the spring and the fall. And this is a list of what those costs are. So the total cost per credit is $402. And since international students have to take 12, that means that that amount by 12 is going to be the number you see at the very bottom here, $4,830. So that's the minimum that you are going to be expected to pay for tuition each semester. Scholarships are limited for international students. Unfortunately, international students are not allowed, this is as per immigration regulations, to accept any government funding. So anything that is a public scholarship is not open to international students. But we do have some private scholarships that can be available. They're usually going to be in small amounts, $500 to $1,000 per semester, but those are available. But it is important that you know, and I always want to be transparent and upfront, that you're going to have to be prepared to pay this amount each semester before you come. That is part of the immigration regulations at a federal level. So it's approximately a little less than $5,000 per semester. So why choose Miami? Miami is a wonderful place if you have not been here before. I've only been in Miami for a few years, so I know what it's like to come here. I'm not a native by any means. I'm from Oregon, but I can tell you that the weather is absolutely amazing, and that's one of the prime reasons why people choose to come here. It's a tropical, humid climate. Sun shines pretty much year round. In the summertime, we do get some rain, but the temperatures stay above usually 60, 75 Fahrenheit year round. Our food is very varied. As I mentioned before, we are such a diverse and multicultural city that our food is reflected in as well. So you definitely will be able to find Latin American, Caribbean cuisine. We have a lot of influence here from the Caribbean, Haiti, Jamaica, Cuba, and South America, Central America as well. There are many things to do here, being an urban city. It's a very large city. I'm sure you have all heard of Miami. is that there are plenty of museums and multicultural activities that can be done here. We have our Wynwood neighborhood, which is famous for outdoor murals and art galleries. We have lots of different museums, science museums and art museums. And so lots of things to do here to participate in. And definitely nature. This is one of the places where you can be in a city, a big city, but also be surrounded by nature. We've got beaches, national parks, the Everglades, the Biscayne National Park. Students are always going out kayaking, paddleboarding. You can go camping, biking, running. So if you are into the outdoors and different nature activities, then Miami is definitely a place to be. So just to show you a few pictures of the area, this is Miami. It's a beautiful city, a wonderful place to be. If you look at that top picture there, the big one there, that's our downtown. So right nestled in there is Miami Dade College. So right where all of those yachts are, just beyond that building is Miami Dade College. So you can walk to that ocean front from where you are studying here. And then we have the Miami Heat Stadium there in the top right. That is also right across the street from Miami Dade College. So you could take your class and then in the evening go and visit a basketball game and watch Miami Heat. We've got the Hard Rock Hotel and Cafe there, the Bayside. So many different things to do in Miami. It's a wonderful city. So before I open it up to questions, I want to turn it over to Sara to give a little bit about her experience here. She is an international student from Italy, studying here at Miami Dade College. And so I'd like to turn it over here to give a little bit about her experience, and then we'll open it up for questions. Sara, are you there?
Hi, everyone. I don't know. Can you see me?
Yes.
Now we see you. Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you, Kelly.
So I moved here in Miami 5 years ago, and I started right away with Miami Dade College. At the beginning, I did the exam for see my English level, which was very low, and I was worried about it because I didn't know the language very well. But I found a professor and classmate that we studied together. We learned a lot. I did 5 levels of English, and when I was in the last level, I did the exam again, and I was able to start my college career. I started with my associate in business administration. And then after 2 years, when I finished the program, I submitted the application for the bachelor degree in supervision and management, always at Miami Dade College. I chose to finish my bachelor degree in Miami Dade College because I really like the campus, and the professor there are really qualified and help you a lot and go through the process. The system is a little bit different than Italy. Here, the professor knows every student, and they help you to study. If you have any question, they're always there. Plus, outside of the class, you have help like tutors for your writing assignments or your reading assignments. They help you, they correct your grammar, and they teach you better the pronunciation and the grammar mistake. They are always there for you. If you want to study with your classmate, you can always rent a room inside of the college where you have like the board and everything, and you can do like group projects and interact together. In the college, you also have a big library and a computer courtyard where you can use all the computers that are available, and you can finish your assignment. I really like Miami-Dade, and there are a lot of international students in the Wolfos campus, like Poppen Kelly said before, is the main campus for international students. I have been also in the other campus they have. I've been in the Padron campus, which is in Little Havana. I like it, but it's a little bit smaller than the other campus. And then I went for a couple of semesters in the Kendall one, which is in South. In there, you can find more Latin people and local people, let's say. In the Wolfos campus, definitely you find international students all around Europe, South America, everywhere. there are a lot of majors. Like my sister, she was studying psychology, and my brother marketing at the beginning, and then he switched for business and administration. Yeah, I had the opportunity also to work for the World Languages Department, which is the department that take care of the students with the EAP program, which is the 5 level of English that you need to complete if your English is not good enough to start the college. And I met all the professors there. I worked with them for over a year. And I can assure you they are really great. They're going to help you in everything. So you have platform online when you're going to do all your homework. And also you have a lab where you have free tutor that they can help you to submit your homework and all your assignments. So if you have any question, let me know, and I am here to answer.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Kelly, for your very interesting overview on like the opportunity of studying at the Miami Dade Community College. And thank you, Sara, for sharing your very interesting experience, because like I don't think that Italian know well enough the community college opportunity. So I was pretty happy to have Sara here today, because I mean she's experiencing this kind of opportunity. So it was very helpful. And I don't see questions right now, but I have a couple questions for you. So I would like to know whether it is possible to apply to Miami Dade, and when is the deadline for the fall 2021?
Yes, it is absolutely possible to apply. Our deadline is June 26th for the fall. So there is plenty of time still. Yes, yes, okay. Plenty of time.
So it's for both, for the community and for the university, right? It's for both.
Well, so this is for the college. So Miami Dade College, okay. That's our deadline. And I will say that at other universities, likely they will have an earlier deadline. That's one of the good things about
yeah, that's why I was surprised.
Yes. So their deadlines are probably going to be coming up soon. Usually they're in January or February. But every university and every institution places their own deadlines. So with Miami Dade College, it is the end of June. Now, I always recommend to try to apply earlier than that, just because getting the visa process can take a while. You know, on our end, we usually process everything within 4 weeks in order to be able to provide all of the paperwork that they need to go to the consulate or embassy in order to get the visa, but sometimes it can take a while there, especially right now with COVID and things are happening much slower. Yes.
So is Miami Dade offering online courses or in person?
So we're doing both right now. We are mostly doing a mix. So we're doing blended classes where part of the class is in person and part of it is online. But then we also have options for all online for anybody who is less comfortable coming into the campus or, you know, has medical needs. I don't know what's going to happen in the fall. Everything depends on where, you know, what happens with COVID-19. But I suspect that we will be still offering many online classes at that time.
My second question was about the pre-medical. What if I'm interested in like applying to the medical school in the US as an international student? Do you offer like an associate, like an associate of arts degree, like called pre-medical or something similar? Or in case I'm interested in like applying to the medical school, what could I start studying like at the community college level?
Yes, good question. So yes, we do offer degrees in the medical fields. And we actually have a campus. One of our 8 campuses is called the medical campus.
Oh, wow.
So that is where all of our medical degrees are located. I'm not going to lie, I'm not the expert on all of those degree programs, but we do have many international students that will start at my campus by taking their general education requirements in a pre-med associates. And then once they have certain requirements, they'll transfer to the medical campus of Miami Dade College.
Oh, wow.
To complete either the full Associate of Arts in medical degrees, and it's not called Associate of Arts in medical. There's nursing, there's physician's assistant, there's many different areas within the medical field. And then they also have some bachelor's degrees directly there at the medical campus. I know that a lot of students take, physical therapy or nursing, but we do have pre-med also to be able to then go on to med school.
Thank you. And one last question. I don't want just to take all your time, but I don't see any. Italian students turn out
there's
to be...
one question. There is one question from Leone.
Oh, there's a question. Oh, Leone, I'm so sorry.
He wants to know what is
Sure. Okay, so Leone has a question about he has the same question that I asked, that was the application deadline, which is June 26th. It's in June, Leone. And then he has a question. Is it possible to begin the college with a course of English?
Yes, so we offer the English as a second language program, the English for academic purposes, which is what Sara did, where you can start by taking English classes. We offer 5 full levels. So depending on where you are in English now, you may start, at level 1 and go all the way through level 5, or you may just start at 5 and have to take maybe 1 semester of English. But yes, you can start by taking English language and then continue on to the degree program that you want to study.
Okay, great. Okay, and Leone has another question. How can I apply for courses this summer? So he could start. Okay, Leone, you mean just to take some summer courses, or you want to start the university in the summer? Would it be possible to start university with the summer courses?
So one thing that can be done is if you're interested in doing English classes during the summer.
Okay, that's what we want to do. Yes. In the summer, courses of English.
So there is a program here called Continuing Education that offers year-round English classes, and they are shorter classes. So they may be 4 weeks long, and you can do those on a tourist visa. So it's not the same as applying to the college and, getting your student visa, et cetera. But if you just want to come for the summer and take an English class, you could come on the tourist visa or the ESTA, the waiver, and take a short English class and then go back to Italy, for example. And then, if once you've done that and you say, okay, I really liked it there, I want to go back and I want to study there and get my associate's degree, then you would go through the full application process as an international student and get your student visa.
Okay, great.
But I will say that what you cannot do is come here on your tourist visa, take that short class, and then stay and take your degree. You have to plan ahead. This is not just I want to go earlier than the application deadline, so I'm going to do this and then continue. You would have to go back to Italy and go through the process.
Because with the F1 visa, let's imagine that COVID doesn't exist. So he has a visa, and the courses start at the end of August. How earlier can a student enter the US? I mean, they have maybe 30 days.
30 days. Yes, good question. So if you get the F1 visa, you're accepted to the program, There on the I-20 is the piece of paper, the document that we give you in order to get your visa, in order to enter the United States. So on that document is the program start date, which is the first day of classes. So let's say this fall, for example, the first day of classes is August 23rd. You will be able to enter the country 30 days before that. And that date is written right on the piece of paper. It'll say earliest admission date. And so that would be, I believe, July 24th. You would not be able to enter the country. They won't let you into the country before that date. But I always recommend that you do come in those 30 days so that you can find housing, you can get to know the campus. You know, if you need to start looking at getting a driver's license or any of those things, you've got those 30 days before classes start to you know, be a little bit of a tourist, but on a student visa.
Because I mean, this was my last question. It's about the housing. So do you recommend to start finding information, collecting information before leaving for the US, or it's something that the students can do while they are there and before the classes start?
So I always recommend that you start looking ahead of time, just to get the process started. But I would not recommend signing a contract or paying any money before you're here.
Okay.
Wait till you're here so that you can see it, make sure that it's, you know, close to the college, that it's, sometimes people can put pictures up that are not necessarily the same as what the housing looks like. So, I would definitely start by looking online, get an idea of the different neighborhoods and the costs and the different prices. But then once you get here, then you can start looking more seriously. And, oftentimes students will be able to find a roommate as well, once they're here with other international students. We offer a housing posting board. And this is a fairly new thing, where international students, and these are only for Miami-Dade college students, no one else is able to get onto this board, so it's secure and safe. International students are able to be in communication with each other and say, hey, I'm looking for an apartment, I'm going to be there in August, does anyone need a roommate? Or others can put on and say, hey, I have an apartment and there's an extra bedroom that costs this much money if anybody is interested. So that way students are able to connect with each other and help each other find their housing.
Okay. Some questions are arriving right now. So the first one is about the language certifications. If you can repeat the one that Miami-Dade accepts, because you mentioned probably the TOEFL, IELTS, and there was a third one.
So there's actually several. Those are the main ones. So those are the main ones that I put on there. But we also will take Duolingo.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So we take most, let me see. I'm gonna pull up the website that I can put in the chat here. Give me 1 second.
Maybe the student had like a Cambridge Advanced, and so she was wondering if this test would be accepted or only TOEFL and IELTS. That was her question. Would different English tests be accepted other than the TOEFL and the IELTS? As you were saying, Duolingo for sure, maybe.
Yes, I'm not sure about the Cambridge. I'm trying to find the website here. So let me put this in the chat here, and I can always find anything that I don't know. I can always find that information and send it to you later.
Okay, thank you.
Let me send this. Oops.
But you also said, if I remember correctly, that they don't need to have this certification. They can be tested once they arrive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have our own internal test. It's called the AccuPlacer, ESL. And so anyone who doesn't have one of these tests can just take ours.
So they shouldn't worry too much because they would be admitted anyway if the rest of the application is good.
Exactly. Having the TOEFL or having one of those other tests is nice, just because you already know ahead of time before coming here if you're going to have to take English as a second language or not. If you wait till you get here, then you take that placement test. You might be on the border. You're not quite sure if you're going to need English or not. It may be a surprise when you see, oh, I have to take English classes when I was expecting to start taking, my math and biology, etc. So that's really the only perk to having that test done ahead of time.
Then there was a question for Sarah about their first impression. Sarah, can you show up?
Yes.
Okay.
I answered to Leone. So my first impression here, like I said, I was afraid because of my English. I was like in elementary, was the first level. I was really afraid when my first day of class. I was so anxious because I thought that the college would be like the university in Italy, where the professor just speak, and they don't know about you. But actually, no, they let you introduce yourself. They create group, so with your classmate, and everyone was about the same level, because with the test that you do at the beginning, is a placement test. Is easy, nothing's difficult. They place you in the right level. So everything was perfect. And after a couple of months, I really improved everything. So my English and plus Miami is an amazing city. It's fun. There is everything you can do. You can go in the beach every day because the weather is hot. It's perfect. So if you are young students, I advise you to do an experience here in Miami for sure.
And then there was a student that I think was so amazed about the entire system that was just wondering, because she already has the degree, can she take a master at Miami Dade? Or
no, we don't have master's degree because we're a community college. Masters are only at universities.
No, I mean, because you also have the 4-year program, but then you don't have the...
So yeah, right. So we have the bachelor's.
Yes,
you don't have beyond that. Okay. You have to go to a university for the master's. But I will say that if you want to study something other than the degree you already have, you can do that. We get that a lot, where students who have a master's in business really want to, learn more about some, maybe cybersecurity. Maybe that could complement your business degree. And so they may get an associate of science in cybersecurity, for example. So there's always ways to complement the education that you already have with something else.
There's one last question for Sarah. So they want to know, after how many months your English improved and you felt more confident about speaking or going to class.
So after 3 months, I felt more, not confident 100%, but I was able to speak more and well, and I understood almost everything. So plus in the course that you will do of English, if your level is not high to start right away, you have grammar class, listening class, and speech class. So each class you do something different. In the speech class, you speak a lot. You have to make presentation. They give you the opportunity to practice with a professor that is, of course, English is perfect. So you have this opportunity to practice more too.
Okay, so I don't see other questions. And it was very interesting to talk to you guys, and I'm very excited. I would apply to Miami Dade, but I believe I'm too old to study.
It's never too late. Never too late.
Let's say that I agree with you, but I'm not sure. Well, let's see. But I find very interesting.
And I didn't know that it was the biggest in all the system, that you had more students. This statistic was really impressive.
Yes, we are a very large institution. And I actually didn't know that either until I began working here. But yes, it's the largest institution in the United States. So I put in the chat there, I put the link to our website, MDC.edu, that's specific for international students. So definitely, any of you, if you have other questions, Laura and Federica, if anybody comes to you with other questions, always feel free to be in contact with either myself or with Sara. I'm sure that she'll be happy to help as well.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. If you have any questions, just let me know. I will be happy to answer to those.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Perfect testimonial.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kelly and Sara and everybody for joining the webinar. And please, if you have any other question, let us know, and we will put you in contact with Kelly and with Sara. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Appreciate it.
There.
Bye.
Bye. Great day.